I'm Miles Porter. If you're awake right now, that's all right. Sometimes the year ending makes it hard to settle. All those thoughts about what happened and what might come next. Tonight we're going to take a train ride together from Denver up into the mountains, leaving on New Year's Eve and arriving January 1st. A journey from one year into another with a gentle rhythm of wheels on rails to help you rest. If your eyes are getting heavy, that's good. It's a little after 8 in the evening on December 31st. Denver Union Station glows warm in the cold night. The temperature is about 28 degrees. You can see your breath. Inside the station, the space opens up. The Great Hall stretches before you with high ceilings and terrazzo floors that shine under the lights. The building is Beaux-Arts style, built in 1914 after a fire destroyed the earlier station. There's the smell of coffee and something baking, maybe cinnamon rolls from one of the shops. People move through with purpose, but not hurry. Some pull wheeled luggage, others carry backpacks. Everyone has that look of being between places, which is a peaceful look if you think about it. You find your track. Track 3. The sign says Winter Park Express, though it's not the regular ski train tonight. Tonight it's making a special run to Retreat Center up in the mountains. Just this one train departing late so people can make the crossing from one year to the next while traveling. The platform is cold. Your coat feels good. The train waits there, long and quiet. It's a Superliner, which means it has 2 levels. Silver sides catch the platform lights. You can see your reflection moving alongside you as you walk. A conductor stands by the steps. He wears a dark uniform and a small smile. Evening, he says. Sleeper cars toward the front. Car 321. You climb the metal steps. They're sturdy. Each step makes a solid sound. At the top, you're inside. The corridor is narrow. Warm air wraps around you after the cold outside. There's carpeting, dark blue with small geometric patterns. Sconces on the walls give soft yellow light. The ceiling is lower than in a house, but not uncomfortable. You find your roomette. Number 7. The door slides open sideways. Inside, it's small but complete. 2 seats face each other, dark blue fabric. A window takes up most of the outside wall. There's a small fold-down table between the seats. Above, you can see where the upper bed folds down from the wall. A reading light sits in the corner. Climate controls are near the door. You set your bag on one of the seats. Not much to unpack. A book maybe, water bottle, the things you need. The window shows the platform. A few people still walking. Steam rises from somewhere, probably a heating vent. Beyond the platform, you can see part of downtown Denver, buildings with lights and windows, some offices where people are working late, even on New Year's Eve, some apartments where people are getting ready for parties. You're not at a party. You're here settling into a small room on a train, and that feels just right. There's a gentle knock on the door frame. Your sleeper car attendant. His name tag says Robert. Evening, Robert says, "I'll be looking after this car tonight. If you need anything, my room is at the end of the corridor. I'll come by in a bit to make up the beds. We'll be departing in about 10 minutes. You thank him. He moves on to the next room. You sit in the seat by the window. The cushion is firm but comfortable. You can lean back a little. Your feet rest flat on the floor. Out the window, the last passengers board. The conductor checks his watch. Somewhere ahead, you hear the low rumble of the locomotive engine. It's been running this whole time, keeping the train warm and powered. Now it's getting ready to move. The platform starts to slip backward. Smooth. Almost no jerk at all. The train is moving. You're leaving Denver. Leaving this year. Going up into the mountains to arrive in the next year in the quiet. If you're feeling drowsy, that's very good. The train moves slowly through Denver at first. The tracks wind between buildings. Sometimes you pass so close to brick walls that you could almost touch them through the window. Sometimes you're in a cut with walls of earth on both sides. Then you emerge and the city spreads out. You pass the backs of warehouses, loading docks, parking lots. These are the parts of Denver that most people don't see. The working parts. At night, they look peaceful. A few street lights cast orange circles on empty pavement. The train picks up speed, not fast, but steady. The sound of the wheels settles into a rhythm. It's more like a low rumble with a periodic emphasis. The train passes through neighborhoods, blocks of houses, porches with lights on, backyards with bare trees. In some windows, you see New Year's Eve parties starting. People in rooms together, balloons maybe. You pass too quickly to see details, but you know they're there. A man walks his dog along a snowy sidewalk. The dog stops to investigate something. The man waits patiently, then they move on. The train moves on too. Everyone's moving forward into the night. The thing about traveling on New Year's Eve is that you're doing something while everyone else is preparing to celebrate a moment. At midnight, many people will be standing still, toasting, counting down, but you'll be in motion, moving through the transition rather than marking it from one spot. That's a kind way to change years, I think, with momentum already built up. You pass a church. Its steeple has a lit cross at the top. The parking lot is full. Evening service maybe, or a special watch night service. Some churches do that on New Year's Eve. People gather to pray and reflect on the year passing. It's a tradition that goes back to 1770 to a Methodist church in Philadelphia. John Wesley, who started the Methodist movement, encouraged these watch night services as times for quiet reflection rather than loud celebration. That same spirit is on this train. Quiet, reflective, moving forward but gently. The industrial areas give way to suburbs, larger houses now, bigger yards. Trees are bigger too. You can tell you're getting toward the edge of the city because there's more space between things. A shopping center slides past. Its parking lot almost empty. Just a few cars near the entrance. The stores are closed for the holiday, except maybe a pharmacy, its sign still lit. The train curves. In the distance ahead, you start to see the real darkness, not the orange glow of city lights, but the actual dark of open land. Beyond that, though you can't see them yet in the darkness, the mountains. Denver sits exactly 1 mile above sea level. You're climbing from here. The train will climb about 5,000 feet more before reaching Winter Park. It happens so gradually you barely notice. But if you watch, you'll see the elevation in how the air looks, how the snow appears, how the trees change. For now, you're still in the suburbs. The train slows for a crossing. You can see down the street in both directions. Cars wait at the gates, their headlights bright. Inside each car, someone heading somewhere for the evening. Everyone making choices about how to spend these last hours of the year. You've chosen to spend them here, on a train, in a small room with a window and a seat, warm and safe and moving. The train picks up speed again after the crossing. The space between houses grows wider. Then there are no more houses, just darkness and the occasional light from a farm or ranch. You're leaving the city behind. If you're breathing a slower now, deeper, that's good. The train settles into its traveling speed. About 50 miles per hour. The rhythm of the wheels is constant now. You can feel it through the seat, through the floor. A gentle vibration that's soothing rather than jarring. Outside, the landscape is mostly dark. You see your own reflection in the window, yourself sitting there looking out. Behind that reflection, glimpses of the world passing. A tree outlined against the slightly lighter sky, a frozen creek catching starlight, a fence running parallel to the tracks for a while, then curving away. The moon is a waxing crescent, just a sliver. It set earlier, around 7, so the darkness outside is deep. Stars are starting to show. Orion is up there, his belt clear in the winter sky. The Big Dipper lower to the north. Inside your roomette, the reading light makes a small pool of yellow warmth. You could read, or you could just sit. Both are good. The heating vent whispers warm air. It smells like warm metal and clean cloth. Train smell. Distinctive but not unpleasant. You can hear sounds from the rest of the car, someone walking in the corridor, the murmur of voices from another room, the clunk of the exterior door opening and closing at the end of the car as Robert moves between cars on his rounds. There's something about being in a small space that's moving through a larger space. It makes the small space feel extra safe, like you're protected twice over. Once by the walls of your room, and once by the whole train. The country outside is getting more open, fewer trees, rolling terrain. This is the approach to the foothills. The land rises and falls in long, gentle swells. In summer, this area is golden grass. In winter, it's white with patches of brown, where the wind has blown the snow clear. Ranches out here run cattle. You might see them clustered near shelter if it were daytime. At night, they're sleeping, bedded down out of the wind. The train passes through a tiny town, maybe 6 buildings total. A post office, a gas station, a bar with neon beer signs in the windows, but the parking lot empty. Everyone's home for the holiday or gone into Denver for celebrations. Past the town, darkness again. The train leans into a long curve. You can see the light from the locomotive reflecting off snow beside the tracks. The beam sweeps across the land, showing you brief glimpses. A barn, a windmill, a stock tank, frozen solid, then darkness again. Your eyes are adjusting. The darkness isn't empty. It has texture, shades of black and dark blue and gray. The snow catches what little light there is and holds it, making the ground slightly brighter than the sky, even without the moon. Robert knocks and comes in. He smiles. Ready for me to make up your bed? You say yes. He's done this thousands of times. He pulls down the upper bunk. It clicks into place. He pulls out sheets and a pillow from the storage. The sheets are white and crisp. He tucks them in quickly, efficiently, makes hospital corners like someone taught him properly. The upper bunk has a safety net along the open side so you don't roll out. It also has its own window, smaller, and its own reading light. Lower berth is easy, Robert says. He shows you how the two seats slide together to form a flat surface, then the seat backs fold down, more sheets, another pillow. Now you have two beds in the space that was two seats. I'll leave them both made up, he says. Sometimes folks like to lie down on the lower bunk and look out the window. Up to you. He sets 2 bottles of water on the fold-down table. Complimentary. There are also 2 small chocolates wrapped in gold foil. We'll be stopping at Fraser Winter Park Station in about 2 hours, he says. That's at 10:30. Then continuing on to the retreat center. Should arrive at 11:45 or so. You thank him. He heads to the next room. Now your roomette is a bedroom. The lower bunk does look inviting. You could lie there and watch the darkness pass. The upper bunk looks cozy too, tucked up near the ceiling. But for now you stay seated. The train sways gently. Outside, the foothills rise up around you. The track follows a creek valley, winding with the natural contours. Engineers in
1860s figured out this route. They followed the water because water finds the easiest path. That's something to remember about journeys. Follow the easy path when you can. The water knows. Ahead, though you can't see it yet, the front range of the Rockies rises like a wall. From Denver, it looks like a single ridge, but it's actually many ridges and valleys. The train will thread through them, climbing steadily. You're climbing already, slowly, surely. The grade is gentle, maybe 2%. The train doesn't labor, it just goes. That's how transitions work best. Not a sudden leap, but a steady climb. Before you know it, you're higher than you were. If your eyelids are heavy, you could close them for a bit. The train will keep going. You're safe here. You've been riding for about an hour. The train is deep into the foothills now. The darkness outside is complete except for stars. Thousands of them. Without city lights, they come out. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a river. You can feel the train working now. Not struggling, but working. The grade is steeper. The engine sound is constant. A low, powerful hum that you feel more than hear. The track follows the valley of Clear Creek. In summer, the creek runs cold and fast from snow melt. People come to fish it, to raft it. In winter, it's partially frozen, ice along the edges, dark water moving in the center. The valley walls close in.
Sometimes you can see them, dark masses rising on both sides. The stars disappear behind them. Then the valley opens again and the stars return. You pass through a small ski town, Idaho Springs. The main street runs parallel to the tracks for a few blocks. Old brick buildings, a few cars parked, street lights glowing but not bright. The town is settled for the night. A bar has people inside. You can see them through the windows, celebrating, waiting for midnight. The train passes and they're gone. The grade increases, the train slows slightly. Not much, just a bit. The engineers know this section well. They know how to balance power and momentum to keep a smooth ride. Outside, the snow is deeper now. 3 feet on the ground, maybe more. It covers everything in soft shapes. Rocks become rounded mounds. Trees carry it on their branches. Ponderosa pines mostly at this elevation. Their long needles collect the snow in clumps. The air temperature outside is down to about 15 degrees, but you're warm inside. The heating works perfectly. There's even a little toggle to adjust the temperature in your room if you want. The train enters a tunnel. The windows go black. The sound changes, becomes louder, more echo. You can hear the rumble of the locomotive amplified. The rush of air. Then daylight again, except it's nightlight. Stars again. This is one of the smaller tunnels through the mountains. Still, it's a reminder that you're in serious mountains now. The terrain is changing, more alpine. The ponderosas give way to lodgepole pines, which are thinner and grow in dense stands. Aspens too, though their leaves are long gone, just white trunks like bones in the darkness. You see the lights of another town ahead, Winter Park. The train is slowing. You're arriving at Fraser Winter Park Station. The train glides to a stop. Very smooth. Outside on the platform, a few people are waiting, not many. This late on New Year's Eve, most people are already where they want to be. The doors open. You hear voices. Someone boards. A couple from the sound of it. They laugh about something. Then quiet again. The train waits. You check the time. 10:33. Right on schedule. A ski resort rises on the mountain to your left, though you can only see the lights of it. The runs are dark, closed for the night. But the base area has lights. The lodge, the parking lot. Tomorrow, January 1st, it will be busy with holiday skiers. Tonight, it rests. The station here is small but pretty.
log construction, a peaked roof that sheds snow, a few benches on the platform, a small shelter with a heater. Fraser is the actual town. Winter Park is the resort. Fraser often claims to be one of the coldest places in the nation. It regularly records some of the coldest temperatures in the lower 48 states. The record low was 53 below zero on January 10th, 1962. Tonight's not that cold. Just 12 degrees, practically balmy for Fraser. The train begins moving again, pulling out of the station. The platform slides back. The station lights fade. Darkness again. Now you're heading higher, up toward the retreat center, another 15 miles, more climbing. The elevation here is about 9,000 feet. The retreat center sits at 9,600 feet. At this height, the air is thinner. You might notice if you've come from sea level, slight shortness of breath when you exert yourself. But sitting here, you don't notice. You're just breathing naturally, slow and steady. The vegetation is sparse now, mostly lodgepole pines and some Engelmann spruce. Above tree line would be bare rock and tundra, but the train stays below tree line, just barely. The sky ahead is darker than the sky behind. You're heading away from any towns now, into wilderness. The Arapaho National Forest stretches for miles in every direction. A frozen lake appears on the right. The train skirts its edge. The ice looks black in the starlight, smooth, perfect. In summer, this lake reflects the mountains. In winter, it's a mirror turned to the sky. You notice something. It's starting to snow. Not hard, just a few flakes at first. They drift past the window, then more. Gentle, like someone shaking a snow globe. The snow makes the darkness less dark. The flakes catch what light there is. They swirl in the wake of the train. You can watch them spiral past your window, up and around and down. The train presses on. The snowfall increases slightly. Now it's steady. Still gentle, but steady. It will snow like this all night, probably. Quiet snow. Mountain snow, the kind that builds up soft and deep. The track curves around the far side of the frozen lake. Ahead, invisible in the darkness and snow, is Berthoud Pass. The train won't go over the pass. It will stop before that, at the retreat center. But the pass is there, marking the continental divide. Water on this side flows to the Atlantic. Water on the far side flows to the Pacific. an invisible line in the wilderness that determines where everything goes. That's something to think about. Small differences in starting position can lead to completely different destinations, but also both destinations are good. The Atlantic is good. The Pacific is good. It's not about choosing right or wrong. It's just about following the path from where you are. You're on your path right now. On this train, in this room, on this night. And the path is taking you up into the mountains, into the snow, into the new year. If you need to rest your eyes, go ahead. The train will keep moving for you. The train continues through the snowy darkness. The time is 11:15. 45 minutes until the new year. 45 minutes until you arrive at the retreat center. Outside, the forest is thick. Trees close on both sides of the tracks. The snow falls steadily now. Not a storm, just a solid mountain snowfall. The kind that will add 6 inches by morning. The flakes swirl in the light from your window. They seem to be falling upward, sometimes caught in the train's wake. It's mesmerizing to watch. The movement in the darkness and the small, bright spots of white. You could lie down on the lower bunk now. The bed is made, waiting for you. If you did, you'd be at eye level with the window. You could watch the snow from there, lying down, comfortable. But perhaps you'll stay seated just a while longer, until after midnight, to be awake for the transition, because that's what tonight is really about. That moment when one thing becomes another. When December 31st becomes January 1st. When this year becomes next year. There's something important about that moment. Psychologists have studied it. They call it a temporal landmark. A point in time that stands out from all the regular days. The start of a new week is a small temporal landmark. A birthday is a bigger one. The start of a new year is one of the biggest. Temporal landmarks do something interesting to how we think. They help us feel psychologically separated from the past, like we can close that chapter and start fresh. Scientists Heng-Chin Dai and Catherine Milkman studied this at the Wharton School. They found that Google searches for the word diet increase by more than 82% after New Year's. Gym attendance spikes. People set goals and commit to changes. It's called the fresh start effect. The feeling that we can leave behind old patterns and begin new ones because the calendar has changed. Now, habits and patterns don't actually change just because the date changes. The physical world doesn't reset, but our psychological relationship to time does shift. And that shift can be powerful. It can give us energy and motivation. It can help us see ourselves differently, not as someone who failed at something last year, but as someone starting fresh this year. The train curves gently. The window frame shifts slightly. Outside, a clearing in the trees. Snow falling through open air. No branches to catch it. In that clearing, by starlight and snowlight, you can see the ground. Pristine, white, untouched, like a page no one has written on yet. That's what January 1st feels like. A blank page. Yes, you'll carry forward who you are and what you know, but the page is blank. What gets written on it is still to come. The train moves through the clearing and back into the trees. The clearing is gone, but the image stays with you. That white emptiness, that potential. Different cultures mark the new year at different times. The Gregorian calendar we use says January 1st, but that's somewhat arbitrary. It's based on decisions made by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 when he reformed the Julian calendar. Before that, the Julian calendar set by Julius Caesar in 46 before the Common Era had slowly drifted out of sync with the solar year. By the 1500s, the spring equinox was happening 10 days earlier than it should. This mattered for calculating Easter, which is tied to the equinox. So Pope Gregory decreed that October 4th, 1582, would be followed by October 15th, 1582. 10 days just disappeared. People went to sleep on Thursday and woke up on Friday, but it was 10 days later. The new calendar also changed the leap year rules. Before, every fourth year was a leap year. Now, century years would only be leap years if divisible by 400. So 1900 was not a leap year, but 2000 was. Not everyone adopted the new calendar right away. Catholic countries did immediately. Protestant countries were suspicious. Britain and its colonies waited until 1752. Russia held out until 1918. Even now, the Orthodox Church uses the old Julian calendar for religious purposes. So, Orthodox Christmas falls on January 7th in our calendar. The point is, the first day of the year is a human decision. Different calendars have different first days. The Hebrew calendar starts in autumn with Rosh Hashanah. The Islamic calendar is purely lunar and shifts through the seasons. The Chinese calendar is lunisolar and starts between late January and mid-February. But whether it's arbitrary or not,
it matters. Because we agreed it matters. Because we mark it, because we pay attention to it. And when we pay attention to a moment, that moment becomes important. Not because of anything inherent in the moment itself, but because of what we bring to it. You're bringing attention to this moment, this ride, this transition. You're not at a party shouting and toasting. You're here, quiet, watching snow fall in darkness while a train carries you forward. That's your way of honoring the change. And it's a good way. The time is now 11:40, 20 minutes to midnight, 20 minutes to arrival. The train begins to slow, not stopping, just slowing. The track ahead must curve sharply, or perhaps the grade is steep. The engineer reduces speed to keep things smooth. The snow is still falling. Through the window, you can see it accumulating on tree branches, making the forest into a different world, a quieter world. Snow muffles sound. It softens edges. It makes everything gentler. The train rounds a bend. Up ahead you see lights. Not many, but some. The retreat center. It sits in a small valley surrounded by peaks. The buildings are low, built of logs and stone. They blend into the landscape. There's a main lodge with warm light in the windows. Some smaller cabins scattered around. A path connecting them, marked by small lights at ground level so you can see where to walk in the snow. The train slows more. You're coming in. You can see the small platform now. Just a cleared space with a shelter. Someone stands there with a lantern. Probably someone from the retreat center, waiting to greet arrivals. The train glides to a stop. Very gentle. The brakes ease on. The wheels stop turning. The train is still. For a moment, the only sound is the wind and the hiss of air from the train's systems. Then the doors open. You hear Robert in the corridor. Retreat center, he calls. End of the line. If anyone needs help with bags, let me know. You look at the time on your phone. 11:46. 14 minutes until midnight. You stand. Stretch. The room suddenly feels smaller when you're standing. You collect your bag. Check that you have everything. You do. You didn't bring much. Out in the corridor, 2 other passengers are moving toward the exit. A couple. They smile at you. Everyone moves slowly, carefully. No one's in a rush. You step down onto the platform. The cold hits you. It's sharp and clean. Your breath clouds immediately. The snow crunches under your boots. Big dry flakes land on your coat and stay there, perfect crystals. The person with the lantern is a woman in a heavy parka. She smiles. "Welcome," she says. "I'm Sarah from the retreat center. Let's get you inside where it's warm. The lodge is just over there." She points, maybe 30 yards. The path is cleared, but snow is already filling it in again. You follow her. The couple follows you. Your boots crunch, crunch, crunch in the snow. Behind you, the train's doors close. The train will stay here for the night. Robert will sleep in his attendant room. In the morning, the train will return to Denver. But that's morning. Right now is almost midnight. You reach the lodge. Sarah opens the heavy door. Warmth pours out. You step inside. The lodge is beautiful. Massive wooden beams cross the ceiling. A huge stone fireplace takes up one wall with a fire burning bright. Thick rugs on the wooden floor. Comfortable couches and chairs arranged in clusters. A few other guests are already here, sitting quietly, waiting for midnight. A man comes over. He introduces himself as David, the retreat center manager. He checks you in quietly, gives you a key, tells you where your cabin is. But first, he says, "Would you like some hot cider?" You would. He pours you a mug from a large pot on a side table. It's warm and spiced. Apple and cinnamon and cloves. Perfect for a cold night. You sit in a chair near the fire. Not too close, but close enough to feel the heat. The couple who arrived with you sit on a couch. Someone else is looking at books on a shelf. A few people stand at the big window that looks out at the mountains. Though in the darkness you can mostly just see snow falling through the light from the lodge. A clock on the mantle shows 11:58, 2 minutes. No one's talking much. It's a companionable quiet. Everyone here chose to spend this transition in this place, away from cities, away from crowds, in the mountains in the snow with strangers who are not quite strangers because you're all doing the same unusual thing. 11:59. Someone turns on a radio, low volume, a station from Denver. They're playing music and talking about the countdown in downtown Denver. Thousands of people gathered there waiting. Here, there are maybe 10 people total. The radio announcer's voice counts down. 10, 9, 8. Everyone here counts too, but quietly. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The year changes. Outside, snow falls in the darkness. Inside, a fire burns. The old year is gone. The new year is here. Someone says Happy New Year softly. Others murmur it back. A few people hug. You sit there with your mug of cider, warm and safe, and exactly where you need to be. You've made the crossing from there to here, from then to now. If you're feeling sleepy, that's perfect. It's 12:15 in the morning on January 1st. You're in your cabin now. It's small but cozy. One room with a bed, a chair, a small table. A window looks out at the forest. A bathroom with a shower, heat that works well. You've unpacked your bag, changed into comfortable clothes. The bed has thick quilts and feels firm but soft. You could sleep now, but maybe you'll sit in the chair for a bit. Look out the window. Watch the snow. The snow is still falling, steady and quiet. It's beautiful in a simple way. White flakes against black night. The trees barely visible, dark shapes holding snow. The lodge is about 20 yards away. You can see its lights through the trees. Warm yellow squares. Someone's still up. Probably David making sure everyone's settled. But most of the cabins are dark now. People are sleeping or preparing to sleep. This is the deep part of night. After midnight, but long before dawn. The time when most creatures rest. When the world seems to pause.
There's a biological reason for this pause. Nearly all living things have circadian rhythms, internal clocks, that sync with the rotation of the earth. These rhythms tell plants when to photosynthesize, tell animals when to hunt or hide, tell humans when to sleep. But there are bigger rhythms too. Seasonal rhythms, annual rhythms. Right now in the northern hemisphere, nature is in its winter rest. This is the season of dormancy. Dormancy is different from just sleeping. It's a state where metabolic processes slow way down. Growth stops. Energy is conserved. Trees do this. In autumn, deciduous trees drop their leaves and enter dormancy. Even evergreens slow their processes. They're not dead, they're waiting. Conserving resources. Protecting themselves from the cold. Animals do it too. Some hibernate, which is true dormancy. Their body temperature drops. Heart rate slows. Breathing becomes shallow. A ground squirrel's heart might beat once every few minutes during deep hibernation. A bat's body temperature can drop below freezing. Bears are often called hibernators, but they're actually in a state called torpor, which is lighter. Their body temperature only drops about 10 degrees. They can wake up if needed. Mother bears even give birth during this time and nurse their cubs while barely awake. The purpose of all this dormancy is survival. Winter is hard, food is scarce, energy is precious. Better to slow down, use less, wait for spring. But dormancy isn't just about survival, it's also about renewal. Apple trees need cold. They need what's called chill hours, time spent below 45 degrees. Without enough chill hours, they won't produce fruit the next year. The cold is necessary, it's part of the cycle. Seeds are similar. Many seeds have built in dormancy. They won't germinate until they've gone through a winter. The freeze-thaw cycle actually helps crack their shells. When spring comes, they're ready. But they needed that cold pause first. There's wisdom in this. In the pause, in the waiting, in the rest. Human cultures have recognized this for a long time. The concept of a Sabbath, a day of rest, appears in many traditions. The Jewish Shabbat, observed from Friday evening to Saturday evening. In the Hebrew Bible, even the land was supposed to rest. Every seventh year was a sabbatical year when fields lay fallow. The word sabbatical comes from this: a period of rest and renewal. Many universities give professors sabbaticals, a year off from teaching to research, to write, to think deeply about their work without the daily demands. That's what winter is, nature's sabbatical. And in a way, that's what you're doing right now. Taking a pause, resting, letting the transition happen without forcing anything. You're not making grand resolutions. You're not planning every detail of the year. You're just sitting here, watching snow, being quiet. That's a powerful thing. The fresh start effect that psychologists study is real, but it works best when rest combined with actual rest. If you just jump from one year to the next without pausing, you miss something. You miss the chance to let go, to settle, to prepare for what's next. So this deep night, this quiet cabin, this falling snow, this is preparation. This is the dormancy before the growth. Outside your window, the forest is still, not silent, because wind moves through the trees and snow falls with a whisper, but still resting. Somewhere in that forest, deer are bedded down. They scrape away snow to reach the ground. then curl up in small depressions. Their thick winter coats keep them warm. They chew their cud slowly, digesting the browse they ate earlier, not wasting energy, just being. Somewhere else, a snowshoe hare sits under a fallen log. It's white now, winter coat. It nibbles bark. Its feet are huge, covered in fur, which lets it walk on top of the snow. It stays still mostly, ears turning to catch sounds, watching for predators, but also just being. Under the snow, voles make tunnels. They live in the space between the ground and the snow surface. It's called the subnivean zone. The snow insulates them. Down there, it's warmer than the air above. They run through their tunnels, eating seeds they cached in autumn, safe in their hidden world. All these creatures are doing what they need to do to make it through, and they are making it through. They've been doing this for thousands of years, millions of years. Their ancestors survived winters and passed on the knowledge in their genes. You're doing what you need to do too. Resting, waiting, letting the transition complete. The time is now 1 a.m. The snow is still falling. Your eyes are heavy. The bed looks very comfortable. Maybe it's time to lie down, to pull those quilts up, to let sleep come. The year is new. You've crossed over. Now you can rest. If you want to close your eyes, you should. It's around 2 a.m. now. You've been resting. Maybe sleeping. Maybe just lying in the dark, listening to the quiet. The cabin is warm. The bed is soft. Outside, the snow continues. It's been snowing for hours now. There's probably a foot of new snow, maybe more. In the darkness, your mind wanders, half awake, half dreaming, and your thoughts drift to time itself, to how we measure it, to calendars and clocks, and the ways humans have tried to capture something that can't really be held. Time is strange. It passes constantly, never stopping. But how we mark it, how we divide it into pieces, that's up to us. The day is natural. The sun rises and sets. That's one rotation of the earth. The month used to be natural too, tied to the moon's cycle. But our modern months don't match the moon anymore. They're just arbitrary lengths. 30 days, 31 days, 28 days. The year is the time it takes Earth to orbit the sun. That's about 365 and a quarter days. That quarter day is why we need leap years. Julius Caesar figured this out, or his astronomer did, a man named Sosigenes from Alexandria. In 46 before the Common Era, Caesar reformed the Roman calendar. Before that, it was a mess. The Roman calendar had only 355 days. To keep it aligned with seasons, priests would add extra months sometimes, but they did it inconsistently, often for political reasons. Caesar swept that away. He created a calendar with 12 months and 365 days, with an extra day every 4 years. January 1st was established as New Year's Day, the Julian calendar. It worked well. For over 1,000 years, it worked well enough. But Sosigenes had made a small error. The solar year isn't exactly 365 and a quarter days. It's about 11 minutes shorter. 11 minutes doesn't sound like much, but over centuries it adds up. By the 1500s, the calendar had drifted 10 days off from the seasons. The spring equinox, which was supposed to fall on March 21st, was happening on March 11th. This bothered Pope Gregory the 13th, or rather it bothered the church because Easter's date depended on the equinox. So Gregory commissioned a new calendar, the Gregorian calendar. The reform had 2 parts. First, they would skip 10 days to get back in sync. Second, they would refine the leap year rule. Century years would only be leap years if divisible by 400. So 1500 was not a leap year in the new system, but 2000 was. On October 4th, 1582, in Catholic countries, the sun set. When it rose the next morning, the date was October 15th. 10 days gone. Some people worried. Where did those days go? Would they lose 10 days of their life? Of course not. Nothing actually changed, except the numbers on the calendar. But it felt strange. Protestant countries refused to adopt the new calendar. They didn't trust anything coming from Rome. England and its colonies held out until 1752. By then, the drift was 11 days, so they skipped from September 2nd to September 14th. George Washington was born on February 11th, 1731, Old Style. After the calendar change, his birthday became February 22nd, 1732, New Style. Same actual day, different date. Russia used the Julian calendar until the Revolution. Greece and Turkey switched in the 1920s. Even now, some churches use the old calendar for religious dates. The point is, the calendar is something we made. A tool for organizing time. Different cultures have made different tools. The Hebrew calendar is lunisolar. It has 12 months based on the moon, but occasionally adds a 13th month to stay aligned with the solar year. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, falls in autumn. It's a serious holiday. 2 days of prayer and reflection. People attend synagogue, sound the shofar, which is a ram's horn, and eat symbolic foods. Apples dipped in honey for a sweet year. Pomegranate seeds representing good deeds. It's a time for introspection, for asking forgiveness, for starting fresh. The Islamic calendar is purely lunar. 12 months of 29 or 30 days. No adjustment for the solar year. So the Islamic New Year, the first of Muharram, shifts through the seasons. It moves about 11 days earlier each solar year. It's a quiet observance, not a big celebration, but a time for reflection and prayer. It marks the Hijrah, Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina in 622. That's year 1 in the Islamic calendar. The Chinese calendar is lunisolar like the Hebrew one. The new year falls on the second new moon after the winter solstice, usually between late January and mid-February. Lunar New Year is huge. 15 days of celebration. Families reunite. Houses are cleaned. Red decorations go up. There are dragon dances, fireworks, special foods, dumplings for wealth, fish for abundance, long noodles for long life. Children receive red envelopes with money for luck. Each year is associated with one of 12 animals. 2025 is the year of the snake. The zodiac cycle goes rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dove, pig. In Scotland, they celebrate Hogmanay on December 31st. It's one of their biggest holidays. Hogmanay includes first footing, the tradition that the first person to enter your home after midnight should bring gifts, coal for the fire, shortbread for food, whiskey for cheer. There are fire festivals, torchlight processions, the singing of Auld Lang Syne. All these different celebrations, all these different ways of marking the same thing, the turn of the year, the fresh start, the moment of transition. And here you are, marking it in your own way, quietly, in a cabin in the mountains, resting through the transition rather than celebrating through it. That's your tradition now, your way of honoring the change. Outside, the snow keeps falling. Time keeps passing. The earth keeps turning. And you keep resting. The clock shows 3 in the morning. The deepest part of night. The farthest point from both sunset and sunrise. This is when sleep is deepest, when the body repairs itself most, when dreams are most vivid. If you're dreaming now, that's good. Let the dreams come. They're part of the process, part of the transition, and if you're awake, that's fine too.
just rest. Just be. The night will pass. Morning will come. But for now, rest. It's around 4 in the morning. The snow has stopped. The clouds have cleared. Through your cabin window, you can see stars again, thousands of them. And if you look just right, you'd see the Milky Way still there, though it's fading as the earth turns toward dawn. The forest outside is transformed. Every branch holds snow. Every tree is laden. In the starlight, everything glows faintly white. This is the world in its winter state. Not dead. Resting. Winter is essential. It's not just a difficult time to endure. It's a necessary part of the cycle. Plants need winter. Many can't survive without it. Their biology requires the cold period. Consider buds on trees. They form in summer. The tree makes them, prepares them, then stops. Growth ceases. The buds wait. They have growth inhibiting hormones in them. Those hormones protect the tender new leaves inside from emerging too early and getting killed by frost. When winter comes, the cold breaks down those inhibiting hormones. Slowly. Over time, the tree counts the chill hours. When spring arrives and temperatures rise, the buds are ready. The hormones are gone. Growth can resume. Without that cold period, the buds won't open properly. Fruit trees won't produce fruit. Flowering plants won't flower. The cycle requires the pause. The soil needs winter too. All summer and fall, soil microorganisms work frantically. They break down organic matter. They recycle nutrients. They support plant roots. But in winter, they slow down, not stop, but slow. They rest, conserve energy, wait for warmth. When organic matter decays in cold soil, it happens differently than in warm soil, slower, more completely. The result is richer humus, better soil structure. Winter's slow decomposition builds the foundation for spring's growth. Snow helps. Snow is an insulator. When it covers the ground, it protects the soil from extreme cold. Under a foot of snow, the soil might be 30 degrees while the air is 0. That matters for soil organisms, for plant roots, for seeds waiting to germinate. Snow also holds water. All winter, snow accumulates. Come spring, it melts slowly, releasing water gradually into the soil and streams. This is why snowpack matters so much. Low snowpack means drought. Good snowpack means ample water for the growing season. In the mountains, in forests like this one around you, snow is everything. The trees depend on it. The animals depend on it. The whole ecosystem depends on it. The animals here right now are adapted for winter, not just surviving it, but living in it properly. The snowshoe hare turns white. Its summer brown coat molts and white fur grows in. This camouflages it against snow. Its feet grow extra fur, spreading its weight so it can walk on top of snow instead of sinking in. Lynx hunt these hares. Lynx also have large paws with extra fur. They're built for snow. Their populations track hare populations closely. In years with many hares, lynx do well. In years with few hares, lynx numbers drop. Ptarmigan, a type of grouse, also turn white in winter. They grow feathers on their feet for insulation and snowshoe effect. They burrow into snow at night. A snow tunnel is warmer than open air. Pine martens, weasels, mice, voles all have strategies, food caches, dense fur, behavior changes. They make it work. And while it looks harsh from outside, winter is actually a time of rest for many animals too. Yes, finding food is harder. Yes, staying warm takes energy, but there's also less competition, fewer predators, a kind of quiet peace. Bears in their winter dens are in torpor. Their cubs, born in January, stay with their mother in the den. She nurses them while barely conscious. It's an amazing feat of biology. Her body recycles nearly all waste products. She doesn't eat or drink for months. Her metabolism adjusts to sustain both her and the cubs. When spring comes, she'll emerge with cubs who are now big enough to travel. They'll spend the summer teaching them to find food. By next winter, they'll den separately. The cycle continues. Even insects have winter strategies. Many overwinter as eggs or larvae. Some produce glycerol, a natural antifreeze, in their bodies. Some beetles can survive being frozen solid. Their cells don't rupture because of the glycerol. When they thaw, they just wake up and continue. All this adaptation, all this preparation, all this patience. Nature knows how to wait, and that's what you're doing too. Waiting, resting, letting the natural cycles do their work. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to make dramatic changes. You just need to rest. Like the soil, like the trees, like the bears. Winter is an empty time. It's preparation time. The dormant tree isn't inactive. It's gathering strength, building reserves, getting ready. You're doing the same. This rest, this quiet night in the mountains, this is your dormancy, your preparation. Come spring, you'll have energy. You'll have clarity. You'll know what to do. But that spring right now is winter. And winter says rest. The time is 4:30. Still dark outside, but the quality of darkness is changing. It's not quite as deep. Dawn is coming, though it won't arrive for another 2 hours or so. The sun rises late in winter in the mountains. If you've been awake, you might be drowsy again now. That's natural. This is a good time for deep sleep. The darkest hour before dawn. Or if you're already sleeping, keep sleeping. Your body knows what it needs. The cabin is quiet. The forest is quiet. Everything is resting. It's 6:30. The sky is lightening. Not sunrise yet, but the eastern sky shows color. Deep blue, fading to lighter blue. A hint of pink at the horizon. Through your cabin window, you can see the forest clearly now. Every tree is perfect white. Branches bend under the weight of snow. Some have shed their load in small avalanches at the base of each tree. Others hold everything, patient. The new snow is deep, 2 feet at least. No wind, so it lies soft and even. No tracks yet, nothing has moved through it. You're looking at a completely unmarked landscape. This is how January 1st looks. Fresh, clean, untouched. The air is cold, probably 5 degrees, but there's no wind, so it doesn't feel unbearable. Just crisp, clear. The sky is sharp blue, getting lighter by the minute. You might get up now. Get dressed. Look out the window properly. The view is worth seeing. The mountains rise all around. You're in a valley, but valley.
The peaks surround it. Some are close, just beyond the trees. Others are distant, across other valleys. All are white. Snow covers everything above tree line. Below tree line, the dark green of conifers shows through, but even that is frosted white. The sun will crest the eastern ridge in about 40 minutes, 7:15 or so. When it does, everything will light up. That first light on new snow is something special. It makes the whole world glow. There's movement at the lodge. Smoke from the chimney. Someone started the fire again. Probably David, making coffee, preparing breakfast. You could go over there, join the few other guests, have coffee and watch the sunrise together, or you could stay here in your cabin, have your own private morning. Both are good choices. There's no wrong way to start the year. If you do go out, you'll need to dress warm, layer up. The path to the lodge will be plowed soon, but right now it's buried. You'd be the first to walk it. Your footprints would be the first marks on this new day. That's kind of meaningful. The first steps, the first marks, choosing a direction and walking it. That's what this whole year will be. One step, then another. You don't need to see the whole path. Just the next step, then the next. The sky is getting lighter, more pink now, orange beginning. The snow picks up these colors, reflects them. The whole landscape glows soft pink and orange and blue all at once. You hear a sound. A raven. Its call is harsh but not unpleasant. Just a bird announcing itself, letting the forest know it's here. It flies overhead, wings beating steady, black against the lightening sky. Then silence again. Or not quite silence. You hear branches creaking, snow sliding off in soft thumps. The sounds of the forest adjusting to the new snow. This is the first morning, the first day, the beginning. And it's not special because anything magical happened at midnight. It's special because you're paying attention, because you're here, present, noticing. Every day could be like this if we let it. Every morning could be a fresh start. But we usually don't notice. We rush through. We're thinking about yesterday or tomorrow, but today, you're here. Now, watching light fill the sky, watching the world wake up. The sun touches the highest peaks first. They catch fire with golden light. The snow up there blazes. The rest of the valley is still in shadow, but those peaks glow. Then the light moves down, slowly, like honey pouring. The mid-slopes light up. The trees there change from dark to bright, each branch distinct. The light reaches the ridge above you, then the ridge behind you. Then the valley floor begins to glow, and then the sun itself appears. A half circle on the eastern ridge, too bright to look at directly. It lifts, becomes a full circle, rises. The whole valley fills with light. Everything sparkles, millions of snow crystals reflecting sun. It's almost too bright. You squint. This is January 1st. The first sunrise of the new year. Welcome to the new year. It's 7:30 now. The sun is fully up. The world is bright and cold and beautiful. You've dressed, put on layers, warm socks, good boots, a coat. You're ready to go outside, to walk to the lodge, to have coffee, to start the day properly. You open your cabin door. The cold hits you sharp and clean. Your breath clouds. The air smells like pine and snow. Nothing else. just that. The path to the lodge is still unplowed, but you can see where it runs, and someone has already walked it. Fresh footprints, probably David. You follow those footprints. Walking in someone else's tracks makes it easier. The snow would be up to your knees, otherwise the forest around you is still, quiet. The sun angles through the trees, making long shadows. Every tree is picture perfect, Christmas card perfect, except more real than any card could capture. You hear a woodpecker somewhere off to the left, hammering on a tree, looking for insects in the bark. That quick, rapid tap, 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 then silence, then tap, tap, tap again. The lodge comes into view. Smoke from the chimney rises straight up in the still air. The windows glow warm yellow. Inside, you can see people moving around. You reach the door, stamp the snow off your boots, open it. The warmth wraps around you. The smell of coffee and wood smoke and something baking. The fire crackles in the fireplace. David looks up from the kitchen area. He smiles. "Happy New Year," he says. Coffee's ready. Breakfast in about 15 minutes. You pour yourself coffee. It's strong and hot. Perfect. You add a little cream from a small pitcher. Take a sip. The warmth spreads through you. The couple who arrived on the train with you are sitting on the couch near the fire. They nod good morning. A few other guests are at the dining table talking quietly. Everyone seems peaceful, rested. You take your coffee to the big window. The view from here is spectacular. The whole valley spreads out. The frozen lake, the forest, the mountains rising beyond. The snow is so bright in the sun, you almost need sunglasses. But it's beautiful. That kind of beauty that makes you stop. That makes you just look. Someone comes up next to you. An older woman. She's looking at the view too. "First time here?" she asks. You say yes. She nods. "Me too," she says. "I've wanted to come for years. Finally did it. Spent New Year's Eve on a train instead of at a party." You smile. You did the same thing. "No regrets," she says. "Look at this." You both look. The valley, the mountain, the untouched snow. No regrets, you agree. She goes back to her seat. You stay at the window. There's something about this place.
being here, about choosing this over the usual celebrations. It feels right. It feels like exactly where you should be. David announces breakfast: scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, oatmeal, fresh fruit, orange juice, all laid out on the long table. Everyone gathers, fills plates, sits, eats. People talk a little, but not too much. Everyone's still in that peaceful morning space where talking isn't necessary. After breakfast, David explains the plan for the day. There are snowshoes available if anyone wants to explore the valley. There's a meditation room in another building if anyone wants quiet time. The main room here is available for reading, playing games, just sitting. No schedule, no requirements. Just be. That's the point of a retreat. Being instead of doing. You decide to try the snowshoes. David shows you how to put them on. They're simple. Straps and buckles, they make your feet huge. But that's the point. Surface area. You step out onto the untracked snow. The snowshoes work. You don't sink. You walk on top. It's strange at first. Gait is wider, but you get used to it. You head toward the lake. There's no trail, but you don't need one. You can walk anywhere. The snow crunches under the snowshoes. Squeak, squeak, squeak with each step. The only sound besides your breathing. You reach the lake. It's completely frozen, completely covered in snow. You can walk on it. You do. Out toward the middle. From here you can see the whole valley. The retreat center behind you. The mountains all around. The sky so blue, it almost hurts. You stand still, just breathing. The air is so cold it stings your lungs a little. But in a good way. In a wake you up way. This is the first day of the new year, and you're spending it in silence, in snow, in mountains, in peace. That seems like a very good way to start. It's afternoon now. Around 2, you've been snowshoeing for a couple hours, exploring, wandering, not going anywhere in particular, just moving through the landscape. You found a small clearing where aspens grow. Their white trunks look like bones against the snow. But they're not dead, just dormant. Come spring, they'll bud. By June, they'll be full of small, round leaves that flutter in the slightest breeze. You found tracks, deer probably. 4 neat prints in a line. Then nothing. The deer walked through sometime after the snow stopped, maybe early this morning, heading from one place to another with that purposeful wandering that deer have. You found a place where a tree had fallen. Not recently, maybe last year. It's covered in snow now, just a long mound. But underneath it's rotting, breaking down, becoming soil. The mushrooms and beetles and bacteria are doing their work, turning wood into earth. It takes years, but it happens. Everything breaks down eventually. Everything returns. Now you're back at the retreat center. You've taken off the snowshoes. You're inside, warm, sitting in a chair by the fire with a book you brought but haven't opened yet. You're just sitting, watching the fire, thinking, or not thinking, just being. This is what retreat is. This is what rest is. Not running from anything, not hiding, just pausing, stopping, being in one place without agenda. In the regular world, there's always something to do, always somewhere to be, always a next thing. That's not wrong. That's how life works. Things need doing, but sometimes you need to stop, to not do, to let yourself be still. That's hard for many people. Stillness feels uncomfortable. The mind races. You think about work, about problems, about all the things waiting for you. But if you can stay with the stillness, something shifts. The racing thoughts slow. The tension eases. You remember that you're a person, not just a collection of tasks. This is why people have practiced meditation for thousands of years, not because it's easy, because it's necessary, because humans need stillness the way they need food and water. You don't have to sit perfectly. You don't have to empty your mind. You just have to be here, now, with whatever's happening. Right now, a log shifts in the fire. Sparks fly up. The wood crackles, heat radiates out. That's happening. You're aware of it. That's enough. Outside the window, the sun is starting its descent. It's only 2, but in winter, the sun sets early, especially in the mountains. By 5, it will be getting dark. You've been here about 14 hours, arrived just before midnight. Now it's the afternoon of January 1st. In that time, you've traveled from one year to another. You've slept. You've walked in snow. You've eaten. You've sat by a fire. Simple things, but meaningful. This is what a new year is. Not a magic transformation, just continuation. One day into another, but with awareness, with intention, with presence. The fresh start isn't about becoming a different person. It's about being more fully the person you already are, about not carrying old patterns unconsciously, about choosing moment by moment how to be. And sometimes the best choice is to rest, to stop choosing, to just be. That's what this day is offering you. Permission to be without producing anything, without achieving anything. Just being. In our culture, that's radical. Productivity is praised. Busyness is a badge of honor. Rest is often seen as laziness, but rest is not laziness. Rest is necessary. Rest is when growth actually happens. When you lift weights, you don't build muscle during the workout, you build it during rest. When your body repairs the tiny tears in muscle fibers and builds them back stronger. When you learn something, you don't really learn it while studying, you learn it during sleep. When your brain consolidates memories and makes connections. When you're solving a problem, the solution often comes not while you're actively working on it, but after you've stepped away. Your subconscious works on it while you rest. Rest is active. Rest is productive. Not in an obvious way, but in a deep way. So this day, this quiet day after the transition, this is not wasted time. This is essential time. This is when the transition actually happens. Not at midnight when the date changed. Now, in the quiet, in the stillness, you're letting go of last year, not by forgetting it or rejecting it, just by releasing your grip on it. It's done, it's past. It taught you what it taught you. Now it's time to move forward, and you're opening to this year. Not by planning every detail or making big promises, just by being available, by showing up, by being present for whatever comes. That's enough. That's everything, really. The fire burns low. You add another log. It catches quickly. Flames wrap around it. The heat intensifies. Outside, shadows are lengthening. The light is turning golden. That late afternoon winter light that's thick and warm looking even though the air is cold. A few other guests have gathered in the main room. One reads. Another works on a puzzle laid out on a side table. The couple from the train is playing cards. No one talks much. Just quiet companionship. Shared space without intrusion. This is community too. Not the loud kind, not the constant kind, but the kind where people exist together in peace, where you can be alone but not isolated, where your presence is acknowledged but not demanded. It's nice. David comes through checking if anyone needs anything. Fresh coffee, more firewood. He's good at this. At being present without hovering, at creating a space where people can relax. You thank him. Tell him this has been good. He smiles. That's what we're here for, he says. Rest and renewal. That's the whole point. He moves on. You stay in your chair. The clock shows 4. The sun is low now. It will set soon. The first sunset of the new year. You think about watching it, going outside, finding a good spot. Or maybe you'll watch it from here, through the big window, with the fire behind you and the warmth around you. Both are good. You have time to decide. The year stretches ahead. 364 more days. Each one a chance, each one a choice. But you don't need to think about all of them now. Just this one. Just today. Just this moment. And this moment is good. You're warm, you're rested, you're here. That's enough. It's 6 in the evening. Dinner is over. Soup and bread and salad. Simple food, well made. Everyone ate together at the long table. Talked a little more than at breakfast. The day has softened people, made them friendlier. Now people are preparing to leave. The train back to Denver departs at 7. Most guests are going back tonight, just a few staying longer. You're going back. Your bag is packed, your cabin is clean. You've said goodbye to the space where you rested. Outside, it's dark, full night. Stars are out again. The snow glows in the porch lights. David thanks everyone for coming. He hopes it was restful. He invites everyone back anytime. His smile is genuine. The group walks to the train platform. The path is packed down now from a day of use. Easy walking. The train is there waiting. Lit up. Warm. Robert stands at the steps, helping people aboard. You climb up. Find your roomette. Number 7 again. Same small space that carried you here. You sit by the window, watch the retreat center. People are standing in front of the lodge, waving. David with his lantern. The train begins to move. Slow pull away from the platform. The lights of the retreat center slide backward, then they're behind the trees, then they're gone. You're moving back down the mountain, back toward Denver, back toward the regular world. But something has changed. You've changed. Not dramatically, not obviously, but in some small fundamental way you're different than you were yesterday. You rested. You let go. You started fresh. Not with resolutions or plans, just with presence, with awareness, with openness. That's what you're carrying back. Not ideas about what you should do, just a feeling of spaciousness, of possibility, of being okay right now. The train descends through the darkness, the route you came up, now going down. The same tracks, but different. Because you're different. Outside, the forest slides past. Dark trees holding snow. Stars above. The night quiet, except for the train. Inside, the rhythmic sway, the gentle rumble, the warmth, the small safe space. You're tired, good tired. The kind of tired that comes from rest, not from exhaustion. Your body is relaxed. Your mind is quiet. You could sleep now. Let the train carry you home while you rest. Wake up in Denver, refreshed, ready for the year. Or you could stay awake. Watch the darkness pass. Think about nothing. Just be here in the movement, in the transition, in the in-between. Either way is fine. Either way is good. The year is new. You are new. Not changed. Renewed. And that's what this journey was about. Not going somewhere, being present for a transition, letting it happen without forcing it, trusting that the train would carry you, that the tracks would lead somewhere good. They did. You arrived, you rested, now you're returning. But what you found in the mountains, you're bringing back. The quiet, the peace, the sense that it's okay to rest. That rest is not weakness. That pausing is not stopping. That stillness is its own kind of movement. You'll need that in the year ahead. Life will speed up again. There will be demands and deadlines and difficulties. That's inevitable. That's life. But now you know you can stop. You can step aside. You can take a train into the mountains and just be. And that helps. That makes everything else manageable. The train curves. The roomette sways gently. Outside, nothing but darkness and stars. Inside, warmth and safety, and the gentle rhythm of wheels on rails. Your eyes are heavy, very heavy. The day has been full in a quiet way, full of rest and peace and small, perfect moments. Maybe it's time to sleep now, to let the train take you home while you dream, to wake up in a new place, a new day, ready for whatever comes. The bed is there, already made up, waiting for you. You could lie down, pull the blanket up, close your eyes. Let the movement of the train rock you to sleep. The rhythm is perfect for sleeping, the gentle sway, the steady sound, like being rocked as a child, safe and cared for. You're tired, good tired, ready tired. Maybe you'll sleep now. Maybe you already are sleeping. The line between waking and dreaming is soft here. Blurred. You might be awake. You might be dreaming that you're awake. Either way, you're safe. You're moving forward. You're being carried. The train goes on. The night goes on. The year goes on. And you go on with it. Resting, trusting, letting yourself be carried. If this journey helped you relax, perhaps you'd like to join us next time. Good night and Happy New Year.